too much in focus, and your eye goes back there too much, including to here. So some post-processing to mute down the background significantly, darken it up, bring this guy to pop out, and you've got yourself a very strong image.
And we have liftoff.
I seem to be getting every image that has water splashing in it, or wine, or... Oh, that's another great image.
No, great.
Oh, so you better score this.
Yeah.
27.
Yeah, I really like this. Love the pose of the bird. Captured the water droplets, are just frozen in time. Nice reflection. He's running out of the frame just a little bit, but it's not enough to have a bad effect on composition. He still has plenty of room in front of him. Pretty nice image.
Ella.
Strong portrait of a dog. And dogs are not always easy to get portraits of, especially dogs that have a long snout on them, because sometimes if you get the nose in focus, then the eyes are out, or if you get the eyes in focus, then the nose is out. But they did a really good job of getting everything in focus on this dog's face. I like the way that they handled the background. I think it's a really nice picture of a dog. Really good, yeah.
Very strong texture.
Lemon drop. $26.
Just a lot of fun with drop photography. This one's beautifully done. You've captured the reflection just dead on, which is difficult to do. Your exposure is perfect. Everything's in focus, so it's an excellent water drop. And this one has the yellow here. It just adds that bit of real strong interest.
Early social network. $24.
This is a nice pattern shot. Your verticals, obviously shooting up with a wide angle lens. You made the verticals kind of skew a little bit, but like the windows, the shadows, really nice. I don't really know if you needed the strip of blue at the top. I'm not too sure about that, but still a strong image.
Lighthouse at St. Ignace. $19.
This image lacks a little impact, even though it's a great lighthouse. If we would have had maybe some clouds in that big blue sky, that would add some interest to it. But you handled it quite well. You've got some good exposure. Well, not too bad. I can see stuff in there. So it's not real bad, but it just kind of lacks a little impact. I like the low angle you had, though. That was an interesting way to handle it.
Sausalito stroll.
Is that Patty on the left?
23.
A very interesting photogenic couple. I think part of the reason I'm not immediately, we're always drawn to people right off the bat, but I think the dilemma is that the tonal range of the image is a bit tricky, because you have all this bright in here, which makes it very bright, and they're a bit bright too. I think that to make the story stronger, you want to focus on these guys even a little bit more. So darkening up the image a bit, making them more prominent and stand out. So I think some post-processing here would give you more of the impact that you were looking for.
Great blue heron. $24.
Well, this is a well-done image of the heron. Sharp. I like the composition, the way it's placed. It kind of snakes through the frame from corner to corner. It looks like he's kind of peeking out of the corner of his eye. Nice detail throughout, too. Background, the sky up the top's a little distracting maybe, but not bad.
Tulip, backlit by sun. $27.
The impact in the picture is the color of the tulip and the lighting on it. We have it dead center, which could add a problem. I think I would have liked it dead center. Maybe had that border around it a little closer to the picture itself, so that your subject filled that frame. Since it's just a round subject, maybe if it filled the frame, it would be a little more impact to it. But the color and the fact that we had the sunlight coming through it is what caused the picture to be the most interesting to look at. There are some things that are out of focus. Your depth of field suffers a little bit, but I can see why you were drawn to this picture.
Fresh Market. $18.
A very colorful, lively, bright subject, but the dilemma is that these guys are your subject, and here you've got the stems being the subject. They're so powerful through here, and they're what's in focus. Plus that just draws you away from the pretty beets, I guess. Radishes, thank you. Hey, I'm a beet lover. I'm meat and potatoes. Put a cow in front of me, I'll tell you what type of steak it is.
Harrison Race. $21.
Well, this is interesting. It's got a nice composition's not bad. I'm not sure why the photographer thought those two signs. I don't know if they meant something or. I like the background, the stop sign below the blue signs. It doesn't add a lot, and you have a little blurb up there in the top corner that kind of draws your eye away.
That's black and white.
Yeah, that might make a nice black and white.
With blue signs.
Yeah.
Blue signs.
Black and white with blue signs.
See, the problem is you got a lot of energy here, and that's not where you're at. You want to be here, and you need to draw yourself to here by darkening that, maybe going to black and white here. You got to get in the corners and highlighting that a bit more so that your subject pops.
So very, very cold. 20.
Your star effect makes us look right exactly where you wanted us to look at. The rest of it is secondary and is somewhat out of focus. The ice was not moving, obviously, so why it's not all in focus, I don't know. But the star effect does make us go right down to where you want us to look.
Abandoned fence post. $17.
Um, your story is composed well. There's a bit of an angle here. You've got this piece of wood coming in. Everything about this, says abandoned fence post. But the problem is, and I think the black and white's a great choice, but your exposure is tough because this guy is so bright that it's almost hard to look at it. You don't see the details in him, and there's beautiful details in all the old wood that just doesn't seem to pop because of the exposure.
The storm. $30.
Oh, this is just gorgeous. What can you say? If the God beams going every direction, a big thunderstorm pouring down, exposure and composition is just excellent. A beautiful cloud to work with. It was a pretty fortunate day for this photographer.
I will leave a light on for you. $24.
I love the story of this picture. This picture has a lot of mood, and I like the fact that these flowers in the front are in focused and sharp, but yet they come back to this window, and the window stops me from going out of the picture, and then I come back to the flowers. So we have a roundabout thing going on here, and the fact that there's a light on in the window just even adds more to the story. I want to know, where is this, and who's in there, and why, and what for.
Crown of thorns. $18.
The multiple oblique lines here are very strong. You want to look at these lines. The maker wants us to look right here and right here because that's what's in focus. And I think that by looking right there, I lose some of the impact that the image or that the material could provide. And we've got this corner here, this triangle, which doesn't add much. This shape is very dominating, yet it's blurred. I don't think that's where we're supposed to look, obviously, because we want to be here.
The red door. $26.
Certainly a lot of impact in this photograph. Photographer did a nice job with the symmetry. Everything is straight, everything matches. I assume that's what they were attempting to do because it's spot on. A lot of impact. The lighting is just gorgeous too.
Out for a morning walk. 15.
Being that this is supposed to be morning, I can see it probably was because we have some long shadows. But our light is very, very bright for morning, and we lose a lot of detail in the head of the birds. The feathers in the back are nicely lit, but we've lost a lot up there in the eye area. But yet it's very hot. It's a very hot picture. And for being morning, I would expect it to be a lot warmer.
Water wall. $16.
A very unusual subject. I mean, we all see that this water has opened up the area here, and the snow around it is framing it. I think from a subject point of view, it's fascinating, but the exposure here is great for the whites, but in here it's kind of boringly gray. There's no color in the dead leaves, which I know they're dead. But I think that when you look for impact, maybe to draw the impact out of this, a long shutter speed or slow shutter speed, and getting this to smooth out, and maybe darkening just a little bit here so that your eye is more onto where your subject is. I mean, it's placed real well. It's just I don't want to linger there.
Night cutter. $29.
Oh, this is beautiful. The moon up there with the big burst of light. Not sure if those are tents over on the left-hand side. There's lit. Oh, it's the roof. Okay. Yeah, there's just, anyway, the exposure is just spot on everywhere. Nice diagonal, nice lines. Even the little bit of dock down here in the corner, it doesn't really bother me because it stops you from kind of wandering out of the picture there. You hit that and you bounce right back. This is a beautiful image.
Sweet pea. $16.
I like the way that you have put this in the frame off to the one side, and yet over here in the area, there is some color back there that is adding to it. I don't like the fact that this is out of focus. This P is not moving. You should have had that all in focus. I wouldn't have wanted that in focus because that's just adding to the background. But this should be in focus. And then we have a very strong dark line coming up here that is kind of cutting that right in half. So this could be a very strong picture with a little work.
Vermont Mill. $25.
Exposure, composition, colors, tonal range, everything, this is the package. It's a very peaceful image. It's one you just like to sit and look at it. I mean, I could see sitting in a lawn chair and just looking at that. Your eye can easily go all around, whereas that's the subject. I don't mind walking all around here and taking a walk through this. Yeah, very nice.
Ancient door. 24.
Another strong image of a doorway. Now the composition, really nice. This one wasn't meant to be symmetrical. I like looks like a chimney maybe coming up from the front of the building. And exposure and lighting spot on. And I really love the way the leaves are scattered down there. Really adds a lot to the image, I think. Really nice.
Just testing. $28.
The exposure on this image is perfect. I love it. I love the fact that we've got some subject that, when was the last time we had a train as a subject? It's very different. It's something new that we haven't seen, though you've handled it very well because we've got this interesting arch here. We have good exposure here, 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 here. And so it may not be something that you would want to put on your wall, but I think it's something, unless you worked at GE. But other than that, I think, though, you've handled it very, very well.
In a fog. $29.
It's another winner in a row. Just perfect exposure. Your composition is excellent. You need these guys here. It holds your image. I mean, this one guy allows all of that to exist without any problems. You've got your nice triangles here, and it's just a killer image.
Waterfall. $20.
This is pretty nice. Lighting's a little flat, maybe. Leaves are way past prime, don't add a whole lot to it. Did a nice job with the composition. It cuts down a nice diagonal, flows out. Shutter speed, pretty nice too. I think the maker did well with what they had to work with there.
Marsh marigolds. $23.
This picture suffers from being overexposed. I know those trees were not that light. I think that they needed a little more impact. I like the fact that the marigolds are on the bottom of the picture, and that kind of holds me in. And
Being on the top.
being on the top, but it does kind of anchor the photo. It anchors the photo. A polarizer would have been a wonderful idea. And I would have liked a longer f-stop because I think we could have had more impact if it was in focus farther back into the frame.
Barcelona Harbor Sunset.